VCs in a Van follows a team of venture capitalists who visit and invest in growing companies. You want to learn about a business? You want to invest in a business? Then you have to visit that business.
GoShare connects drivers who have trucks and vans with people who need help moving or delivering on demand.
Essentially what Jeremy and I have done was take our 40 plus years combined behind the bar and took the knowledge and experiences from that, and we decided to design some new bar tools.
Tom Tully, Mark Bowles, and Neil Centuria are seasoned entrepreneurs, and they find out what's for real and what is not.
I hear semantics. I haven't heard the number. I just want numbers to come out of your mouth. How much revenue are you going to do in the next 3 months, 6 months, and a year?
No, this is like, you can't be serious.
I've built a lot of companies. I've always had a plan to make money. It might not have been this year, it might not have been next month, but there's a plan to make money.
No, we can't do that. We can't lose 300 grand.
We've already lost most of it.
You can't lose that. It's hard to find it. It could be under a bush.
You have to sell this problem, and I love that part of the story because once you become aware, and it's really easy, you're doing it wrong.
Either you have too much burn rate, not enough revenue, not enough margin, or you're a software company.
And VCs in a Van allows the audience at home to participate or invest also. All of this and more on this season of VCs in a Van.
If you want my money, I think you should treat it with a bit more dignity and respect.
So as we've discussed, we're going to work the next few weeks on a couple of areas. One in the gig economy or the sharing economy market that is so hot right now. And second, we're going to focus on consumer food and beverage and some of the interesting technologies and trends that are going on in that space and try to get some companies that are hot. So we've looked at, 50, 60 companies, and we've identified a few that we should go visit. I've selected a couple of companies that we've done some level of due diligence that seems to fit what we're going to do. It's more of a B2C or even a C2C type. It's a network, job network to get people that have jobs with people who need jobs, and it's really focused around charities, and that's called Band of Hands. Kind of an interesting approach, and there's been others that have done it, like TaskRabbits and things like that, but I don't see anyone that's done it for the charity space. So
But not for profits.
That'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So we'll be visiting that over the next couple of weeks, and why don't you pass out some of that information we have.
Sure.
What I'd like everybody to do in the meantime is to dive into some of the research that Rose and Jeremy have put together, and be prepared, and in a couple of weeks we'll drive to these companies and do our on-the-fly due diligence. All right, let's do it. Let's go. Thank you. In a venture capital fund, there are limited partners and general partners. Mark, myself, and Neil are the general partners in the fund, and we drive the discussions, etc. The limited partners are our partners that invest in the fund and help us along the way to achieve great results, and also to achieve great profits for themselves. All right, guys, well, we're going to go see Band of Hands now, too. We get 2 in 1 day for you guys. This is a bit of a stretch, but they're close. They're in La Jolla. So we're going to go talk to another gig economy company. They're basically providing jobs, picking up a couch, moving something, doing some landscaping, etc.
Providing jobs, is it a charity, a philanthropy, or what? Tell me how this money works.
As Mark would like, it's a gig economy type deal, or a what is it called, Mark? It's a
Two-sided marketplace.
Two-sided marketplace. They basically act as a broker, kind of like a exchange for jobs and people who have jobs and people who need jobs. We're putting those together. So let's roll the video. They got a little video, a little bit about the backstory, and then we'll talk about it. Mark, would you mind rolling the video for us?
You've got a busy life, and sometimes there simply aren't enough hours in the day. Band of Hands instantly puts people and opportunities in the palm of your hand. Whether you're looking for help or looking for work, Band of Hands makes it easy to find the right people. Easily post work on the website or through the mobile app. Review a list of qualified people and choose the best one for the job. Finding work is just as easy. Simply browse work in your area and apply for listings that fit your skills and schedule. Reclaim your free time and get more done. Band of Hands, connecting people and opportunities.
So how we got started with the idea, people always say, find a need and fill that need. Today, with 95 million Americans more or less unemployed or underemployed, we looked at that and said there is a tremendous need to be filled right there. And that's really what kind of really drove us. Most people think that it takes $1 million to change a person's life. It takes $400 on average. 46% of the people in this country can't afford a $400 emergency. And if you really just think about that on the core, that's huge. So that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to give those people the opportunity to earn $400, $600, $800 a month. That's the difference in many cases between losing your car, getting evicted, or whatever it may be. It's putting food on the table. That's really what creating jobs is really all about. So being on this show, being part of this VC in a Van show for us, we look at it as a blessing, because the one thing that you learn as you go through business and as you go through life is if you have any brains, you realize you don't know it all. So for us, it's a blessing because now we get 4 people who have more life experience, who have had the kind of exits or handled the kind of mergers and acquisitions that we hope to have one day. So for us, it's great.
Interesting. It's got a little different spin than some of the other things, TaskRabbit and some of those things, focused kind of on all jobs. And then this charity spin, that's an interesting spin on it that I haven't seen. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I need to understand that a little bit better. I want to walk me through that.
Tell me what it is you think you thought he said to you. In other words, how does it sort of work, the charity gate?
Well, let's have him kind of explain it.
Good enough.
Lee, it's great to meet you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming by.
Absolutely. Really interested in hearing the story. It sounds exciting. We saw your video in the van. We have a ton of questions. Why don't you start us off with just tell us a little bit about what the business is all about.
Our business is all about connecting people. It's all giving people the opportunity to find someone in the neighborhood and put them to work. A lot of our competition are going after your contractors, your plumbers, your electricians. We're going after the guy down the street. Someone needs help carrying a couch out to a truck. Someone's got a conference table in their business, they want to get rid of it, they'll pay someone $50 to do that. Right over here in La Jolla, somebody paid a college student $80 to hold one of the fire rings. So this is a true peer-to-peer network that allows people to find people and hire people right from the community.
Excellent. Good explanation of it. You've carved out a niche in this marketplace, but how big is that niche? How big is the general market, and how big is the niche that you see that you're trying to attack here?
The peer-to-peer market is huge. There's several studies that have been done. In England alone, they claim that it's as high as 100 million sterling, which is about $150 million per day in England. And England is 1/5 the size of the United States.
Per day?
Per day.
Wow.
So that's the value of what they call the idle economy. Those businesses that have opportunity but only at certain times, and those people who are available if they could find something that fit their schedule. And so if someone could marry those two together, the value of that in the UK is over $150 million per day.
Normally, large markets attract large competitors. Can you tell us a little bit about the competitive space and your position in it?
There's a lot of competitors in our space, but we feel that we are taking a very different approach than our other competitors. Most of our, if not every one of our competitors is doing one thing we're not doing, and that is background checks. Background checks, credit checks, and even DMV checks. Now, right away, people hear that and they go, oh, how could you not do that? But the reality is 95% of the jobs and people that are out there are getting it from where? Craigslist. Mm-hmm. And guess what? Craigslist
no back check.
That's right. And it's a long email address. You have no idea who's going to walk in that door until the person walks in the door. With our app, you're able to see who they are, look at their picture, full screen, read about them, and more importantly, read the ratings and reviews of what other people have said.
You don't have a problem getting people to actually want to do jobs, but you might have problems getting the jobs. Is that a true statement?
The number one issue is finding the jobs.
Yeah.
That is really the game. There's 95 million Americans that are either unemployed or underemployed, and the key factor is finding work is the hard part. Finding the workers, super simple.
So that seems counter to the idea that you don't do background checks. Are you going to provide the labor at a lower cost, or it seems to me, I understand the logic, but it feels like you're selling it as a feature or I'm not sure the consumer, the person buying the labor would think that was a feature that they wanted.
The reality of it is, Mark, it sounds good to background check people, but a background check is really nothing more than a glorified Google search on someone. It tells you about something that person may have done in their past. It doesn't tell you who that person is, nor who that person, where they are today. We don't feel it's our job to judge these people and limit their opportunity. We're trying to help people put food on the table, diapers on babies, gas in tanks.
But are your customers, meaning the people that are putting the jobs up, if they're looking, I can put jobs up on your site or on TaskRabbit, and they know with TaskRabbit the guy's been vetted, are they more apt to do that? And so even though you're not going to do that, is your customer going to make that selection?
Well, we're giving all of the people the opportunity to have a full or robust review and rating system. So before you hire someone, you're going to see and read everything about them, what other people have said, and what they look like before they ever walk in your door. We're building really kind of like a social FICO score, if you look at it that way.
Why are you doing this?
We're doing this because we believe every American has the right to succeed, and their future should
So
be.
what's in your background that makes you want to do Band of Hands?
I have traveled all over the world, probably more than anybody you know, believe it or not. I've been in some third world countries, and I've seen what poverty looks like. I've seen what it's like for somebody to literally be begging or climbing on a heap of trash looking for something to eat. And the bottom line is we feel if we can make it if we can give people opportunity, then our company will grow by default. We also have a better, more efficient go-to-market strategy by utilizing our nonprofit organization that's been set up specifically for the sharing economy. We just happen to be the first company that's been chosen
And
to
what
work
is
with them.
that? Explain this again.
That is AmeriWorks,
So there's a big company called AmeriWorks,
501c3.
and they hired you, you partnered with them?
We've contracted with them
To
to basically utilize our technology to then do the magic that they do. What AmeriWorks is a funnel. So here's a real world example. A donation was given to AmeriWorks, targeting veterans and specifically Support the Enlisted Project. Support the Enlisted Project is right here in San Diego, local charity. They do their annual event. They need 32 volunteers. This is a means of compensating volunteers. Because we look at it, we say, there's 95 million people out there in need. Where in the hell do you find volunteers? If you could
So
pay
it's not jobs, that's something different. You need
Volunteers are
32
paid.
volunteers, and to get a volunteer, you're gonna pay them.
well, they have a lot of trouble every year. They have a lot of trouble
They
getting
have
the
jobs.
Volunteers.
He's calling it a
So
volunteer,
you're calling
but-
it a job, it means I'm really paying somebody to do a
It's
task.
a temp job, just like.
It's a one-off job, just like an Uber. He drove you here and
Okay.
dropped you off. That's a one-off job. But if you can do 10 one-off jobs a day, guess what? You're employed. You have a full-time income coming in. Every time they've done their
So you would
event-
say, you would call that a volunteer job just because in the past they don't have money to pay these people, so they need the work done. So they put the work up and they ask for volunteers, they don't get enough volunteers.
They
So
never
if they
get
put
it.
the work up and say, we'll pay you, but we pay you through this mechanism,
I understand.
that's how
now I
that
do.
work gets
Right.
closed. You help close the loop between well-meaning donors and work that needs to be done for charities and close that loop.
After the break,
Either you have too much burn rate, not enough revenue, not enough margin, or you're a software company.
after the VCs got involved with TinPlay, the company rebranded the product name as California Cocktail Kit. You can find them at www.californiacocktailkit.com.
Do you ever need a friend with a truck? GoShare connects drivers who have trucks and vans with businesses and people who need help moving, delivering, or hauling large items on demand. All of our drivers are licensed, insured, and background checked. Your driver will help you load and deliver your items when you need it. Prices start at only 99 cents per minute. Get a free price estimate and book a driver with a truck at GoShare.com or download the free GoShare app. We are your friend with a truck.
How much money do you need? What are you asking for?
We're looking right now, we're looking for 1.3 million.
What? You must be kidding me.
Absolutely not. We're looking for 1.3.
You have no revenue. You have $9,000 in revenue. For $1.3 million, I get 130% of the company. What just happened?
Let me hear his pitch.
Whoa, okay, I'm ready. Okay, I have $1.3 million. What do I get?
For $1.3 million, you get 13%,
So you're valuing the company at $8 million
$10 million
based on $9,000 of revenue.
currently.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Can you say that with a straight face? Let's practice.
Absolutely.
I have $9,000 in revenue, and I'm valuing my company at $10 million.
Yes, I can, because we're also right now in the process of patenting this entire process of what we're doing by transforming donations into jobs. So there will be no other people, no other company that will be able to do that.
You're dreaming. How much money have we raised to date?
1.7 million.
And what was the post of your last round on that?
The post on the last round was 3.2.
And you closed that round a week ago.
We closed that round about almost a year ago.
Convertible debt is basically a loan that converts to a percentage ownership in a company at a future date, usually set to a predetermined value or a percentage of the new investment round.
Well, I have to defer to my partners, but I have how many people work at Band?
Right now there's 4 full-time and 2 part-time.
So one of the business models you could do is if you have a very clever piece of software, why don't we license it to the 23,000 charities and 501c3s that exist today? Why are you doing this? It's a backward, in my humble opinion. It's your company. But if you asked me to be an investor, your valuation is, in my opinion, healthy. We've learned that word. That's also a legal phrase, healthy. License the software to 23,000 charities. Why are you? This is nutso. It's a software business. Well, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel?
The charities, it's not the charities who need the software.
They need a partner that does what you do.
You can put.
That's right.
What is the state of the technology development, and what would the money be used for? Let's say we wrote you a check for 1.3. What would you do with that?
That money is going to be used primarily for everything is built. Development of all of our iOS, Android, and website is completely built. That would be for bringing on key individuals, primarily marketing, and then also we work closely with AmeriWorks. There's several Fortune 500 companies that AmeriWorks is talking to now because their donations creating jobs with complete transparency, so they know where everybody's
Their donations pay for volunteers to do things
for charities.
Okay. What's the burn rate
of our company? It's about $40,000 a month right now.
Sell us on the 10 million again. I think we're.
3.2 posts a year ago.
You have some confidence about what's ahead of you, and I'm not hearing about the future. Tell us about your future. The 60K is good for the last 6 months, but tell us what you see in the ramp.
It wasn't 60K.
It was
you can't
9K.
do that. It was 9.
But Uber counts their revenue as the same number as 60K. GoShare, everybody else we talk to counts their revenue.
So again, I think you're on a noble mission, and I think you're doing it for noble reasons. I'm not convinced of how we got to a 10 million valuation because you haven't really told us much about what's in your future, and maybe you can't share that, but if you can't share it, it's hard to value it.
I don't want to pay today for the future.
Right.
That's like the guy that's like Wimpy. I will pay you today for a hamburger.
I might pay him a
This
percentage
is not a
of that.
hamburger business.
Tell me about the growth.
We're doing that anyway. Our growth here in America is through AmeriWorks right now. AmeriWorks is already speaking to several different Fortune 500.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about who they're speaking to.
Right.
I don't know. What is your commitment if we gave you money to revenue in 3 months, in 6 months, and in a year? What is your plan?
Our plan, well, right now, the other group that we're speaking with is to take what we've already built, the technology, and licensing it for a whole other country. And then taking the same model, because there's lots of money being donated into that country, taking the same model and be able to go from charity to individual on the street level.
I hear semantics. I haven't heard the number. I just want numbers to come out of your mouth. How much revenue are you going to do in the next 3 months, 6 months, and a year? That's because you're asking me to give you a $10 million valuation. So you should say, well, What is those numbers and what's
Right.
the math?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're in the numbers business.
Right. We anticipate, as we played, I think it was a semantics game where you called it nominal and stretch, and we called it minimum and goal. So the numbers we anticipate our first year, once we have this funding in place, to do 400,000 revenue minimum, or our stretch goal, as you call it, is $6 million.
400,000, and don't do that again, which means you make 60.
Correct. 400.
400,000 of revenue is 60 grand goes to you, and you burn 40 grand a month. So you get enough money. If you quadruple, if you kazingle your current revenue, you only go broke in 75 days. I don't understand the math. You said I'm going to go to 400,000 in revenue. Tom has agreed to give you the 400,000 as a top line revenue. You make 15%. That's 60,000. You told me you spend 40,000 a month running your company. So if you didn't get an investment, if you did go to 400,000, you go broke in a month and a half. Either you have too much burn rate, not enough revenue, not enough margin, or you're a software company.
Those are ridiculous multiples, and the reason why it's ridiculous is because it's not fast enough growth. I would like to see a demo of it, so why don't you give us a demo before we leave?
So this is what the app looks like, going where the jobs are, zeroing in where they could be. It's a map showing you the different areas. Go to post a job, title, so we'll just say test. Description.
Post a job means I want my house painted?
Yes,
Charity's going to pay a house painter?
whatever you want.
And then we
But
can
only
category.
AmeriWorks will do it. Because he says other charities don't like the expense ratios or something. I don't
You're missing
believe
it, you're missing it, that's what we, yeah.
I'm done.
Okay.
And so the transaction from AmeriWorks happens sort of
Behind the scenes on
behind the
that, right?
scenes. It's just
Yeah.
basically the money
It goes
flows.
straight from AmeriWorks to the processor, our payment processor, their account on Band of Hands. So the charity never touches
you
the dollars. Stripe. See, this is one of the keys, Neil. The charities never touch the money, which means it never enters their books.
But they get the work done.
But they get the value of the labor. They now have compensated, accountable, reliable people, not someone who says,
What do
well,
you mean they get the value of the labor? They never touch the job and they never touch the money.
because I'm hiring you and paying you, I'm basically going to give you $100 to go help Tom's charity. So I'm paying you to do that, but you're going to get paid to do it. So he gets the value of your labor, but I'm the one paying you, so it's off his balance sheet. So it allows charities to work like a business. That's the key. That's where the charities are going, wait a minute, this is a game changer.
All right. Thank you. We got to go and decide where we are. We appreciate your time and energy. And I got a hand, but I have no band. The band, I got a band around, I got a lap band is what I got.
Good to talk to you.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay, guys, that was Band of Hand. Interesting discussion. What do you guys think?
I have strong feelings.
You
I'm going
do?
to tell you what they are.
Rare for you, Neil.
We've known each other, the three of us, for a few years, and we are reasonably philanthropically inclined. We give time to prison, we give money away. So we're not vultures by any stretch. And I admire what he thinks he's trying to do. But I was astounded at his financial projections and what I considered to be sort of impervious to a rational valuation. And I think the valuation is as if he was inhaling. He should be one of my crack guys in Donovan. I mean, wow.
Mark, what do you think?
You know, he's such an articulate guy, and to not be able to tell that story in a way that's easily understandable means something is askew. And I think it feels like to me that there's some stuff he can't tell us that he thinks on the horizon that drives that value, but we ask and he couldn't say, and I don't invest in mysteries. So I think we should talk to a charity expert, vet this thing, but I don't know about this one.
What do you think?
Yeah, so I think a couple things. Number one is, in my mind, he's proven that it doesn't work without charity. This is a real pivot. This is one of these startup pivots. The way I started didn't work, but I ended up with a product. Now what do I do? So this charity angle could work. However, he's asking for a valuation as if it did work. And I'm like, I'm not paying for that. That doesn't mean that's not a good idea. I'm still, though, however, not sure if it's a good idea. So two things. One of which, we got to get a lot smarter on, would charities actually want to do this? Who's going to give money to the charity? How much does that cost to do that? And I've got an expert, Lena Evans, who can help us tremendously in understanding.
So there's something here. We'll do some more research. The nature of investing is due diligence, and then more due diligence, and find out what it is that you don't know, because that is exactly what will kill you.
After conferring with our experts on the charity business for Band of Hands, we decided that the cost and complexity of obtaining corporate sponsors was going to be too hard to drive significant profits. Although we love the passion, enthusiasm, and vision of the entrepreneur, we're going to pass at this time, although we hope the best for Aziz, and we're going to keep in touch with him to see how he does in the future.
VCs in a Van allows qualified individuals to invest in any of the companies featured on the show. To invest, go to vcsinavan.com. You may even be selected to be on the show. Do you have a compelling product, service, company story, or technology? Would you like your company to be featured on VCs in a Van? In addition to presenting to the VCs, your company or product will be seen by our television audience of potential customers and affiliates. Please contact us at wanttobeyonshow@vcsinavan.com and www.vcsinavan.com.
How much money do you want now?
Right now,
Yeah.
5 million.
Take a check.
We have continued to monitor the progress at Band of Hands and are now excited to see they've made another major pivot with their business. In addition to capitalizing on their innovative approach to charitable job staffing, they have now targeted their technology at revolutionizing the $100 billion corporate temporary jobs market. CEO Aziz Badra has recruited some top executive talent from the professional staffing industry and is poised to launch into this market with abandon. The van will roll back to Band of Hands in the new year to see if this combination of a dynamic and passionate CEO, great technology and team, and a new market focus will prove to be the catalyst to invest. Join us next season to find out on VCs in a Van.
Is every shot Neil going to be strangled?
No, I mean I'm gonna give Dora the ah. That's a good one.
I kind of like that one.
I like that. I actually should do that again. Do it again.
One more
Do it again.
strangle.